Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 3 of Milo Murphy's Law. So yeah, it's been a while. We took it off the schedule for a bit to kind of cut things down on the schedule, but just recently we started getting things ready, and now we're starting our new schedule this week. So that means Milo Murphy's Law is back on Mondays. So I don't think there's like really any big story to this as of yet, at least. It's just kind of like, okay, Milo is this kid who has just exceptional bad luck. Or is it good luck? It depends on how you look at it. It's a matter of perspective, really. Because all of this horrible stuff happens around him, all of these ridiculously over-exaggerated things. But he never gets hurt, other than maybe a scratch or two. He never gets hurt. He's never put in any real danger, nor are those people around him. The things just happen, and it's more of like this mild inconvenience at this point, because he's so used to it. He's so used to it that it's just like it barely even phases him. He's kind of even a little excited to see what happens. We see that he has two friends who are kind of a focal point of the series as well. I cannot remember their names at the moment. It's been a while. The girl is my favorite, though. Out of the three main characters at the moment, she's my favorite. I like her attitude. I like her personality. I like how she makes bets and stuff off of Milo's. Can you call it a condition? And then there's the other kid who's new. He just moved in. He's just getting to know Milo and them. There are a bunch of other kids there as well, but they're just kind of side characters. Now, this series is by, just as a reminder, is by the same people who made Phineas and Ferb. And there's probably going to be a crossover at some point, I'm sure. I don't know when, and I don't know how. I don't know the context behind it, but there likely will be. And it definitely has a similar charm to it that Phineas and Ferb had, and I can appreciate that. Weird Al doing the main speaking voice of Milo is a little weird to me, and I said that before as well. It's just like he doesn't seem like that voice should be coming out of that face. I don't know, it's just weird to me. But there is music in here just like there was in Phineas and Ferb, and it's great. And of course, with Weird Al singing and all, of course it's going to be great. I mean, that's kind of expected. Now, the true comedy of this series definitely lies in exactly what happens. The first episode focused a lot on just introducing the character of Milo and kind of introducing this concept of the Murphy's Law, everything goes wrong thing. And the second episode kind of brought in more of like the concepts of what this can be built around, such as with the entire egg, not test, experiment? No, there's a word for it. I can't think of project. The egg project they were doing in school, how they had to drop an egg off the roof, but without having it crack or break. Well, okay, not having it break. It could crack, that was allowed, but it couldn't break. And so they had to figure out a way to be able to make it so that it survived being dropped off the roof. And so they, Milo's team, Milo and his friends, basically used Milo's, again, condition to make it so that the egg could basically survive anything, which is really creative and really a wonderful idea. Like, I mean, we already know that Milo doesn't see this, like, at this point, he's become so used to it, obviously, he doesn't see it as this massive hindrance as much. He sees it as more of something fun, more of something, again, just to look forward to and just to kind of live with. And not only the egg thing, but we saw the football game as well, where we saw how the team that Milo was cheering for was losing and doing poorly simply because he was cheering for them. So he starts cheering for the opposing team, and that makes them do poorly, allowing their team to actually win. Again, extremely clever use of this Murphy's Law concept. A very smart way to continue showcasing this in the series without having it feel like it's just the same thing over and over again. They use these creative twists on it and use it in these creative ways. It's actually really impressive. So I can really get into what they're trying to do here. Now that was only 2 episodes though, and I will fully admit it could still get old. But I'm really hoping it doesn't. And honestly, I do have a lot of faith in this crew because again, they worked on Phineas and Ferb, and that was a great show that never really got old per se. And it also had a very formulaic idea to it, if you think about it. Phineas and Ferb are trying to do something to spend their summer vacation. They have this idea for something. They're too young to do it. Candace is watching over them and is trying to bus them to her mother. Perry goes off somewhere and has a little confrontation with Doofenshmirtz. It's the same kind of thing every time, with a couple exceptions. But it's like, it's the same concept, the same formula, but they do it in certain ways and use creativity to make it unique and interesting every time. Plus, with that, it was like, okay, what are Phineas and Ferb going to do today? You're excited to find out. And so with this, I'm kind of viewing it as what is going to happen to Milo and his friends today. You're interested to see exactly what they do, to see what happens to them. It actually gets you interested to see exactly where they go with it. Now, we also have seen Milo's parents, and it looks like his father might be afflicted with the same thing, but it's actually unclear. But we haven't gotten a lot of focus on them yet. I'm sure they will come into play more as the series progresses. But I am definitely interested to see more of this because it definitely seems like it could be a pretty good series. It's in its 2nd season currently, and I mean, that's always good when it isn't canceled after only 1. And I'm just hoping that it proves itself to be worthy of, well, that 2nd season and just being a good show. I hope it lives up to Phineas and Ferb, let's put it that way, or at least is as close as possible. But yeah, either way, I'm excited to see what we've got in store with this one. So we're going to get it started. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So this was fun. This was fun. I like the first half of this episode, the first minisode, I guess 3A, because it kind of confirmed one thing I was thinking about. Apparently, not every how do I put this? Milo isn't always struck with this bad luck. Apparently, there are occasions where nothing really happens. And he just, he just accounts it for the fact that Murphy's Law is unpredictable. And that's really cool. I like that they really kind of confirmed that. Although we did see some instances of his bad luck in the episode. I would like to see an episode where legitimately nothing like that happens, though. I like his sister. She's really caring about him and really, really funny. Kate Micucci does a great job, of course. And I love the Doctor Who parody with that Doctor Time or whatever it was. Or no, it was something else. But that's hilarious. I am a big Doctor Who fan, and so it's just great to see that. And there were definitely some notable references that made it super obvious, like the regenerations, the different the 50 years of history and stuff. So yeah, it's like they weren't trying to hide it necessarily. Um, but obviously they changed up enough to make it its own thing too. Excuse me. But yeah, the second episode then uh, was more of the typical what you'd expect for this. Um, Milo, Melissa, and Zach. I think it's Zach. It's Zach, right? They're chasing after Milo's doctor's note to try and get it back so he doesn't have to skip, or so he doesn't have to take the grade over and all because of all the missed days and whatnot. Um, and apparently that was his doctor at the golf course. um, I thought it was actually kind of subverting expectations by like zooming in. It's like, oh, I'm not actually a doctor. It's like, okay. Oh, because usually when it would do that, that's what it would be. So I thought it was kind of subverting the expectations, but then it subverted it again by making you like, it kind of double tricked you there, which I can appreciate. Um, and apparently there was like some kind of alternate dimension style version of Milo, this other girl, and complete with friends who were basically just mirror images with some slight differences. Instead of a dog, there was a pig. It's like, what? And then the one dude, the Elliot dude, voiced by Christian Slater, got disintegrated, and it's like there's just a reintegration ray because, you know, we can't just have a character die. Um, so instead, they're just gonna make it so that make it that there's a reintegration rate and he's brought back along with all the astronauts that apparently were disintegrated. And they never thought to do that for the astronauts before. That's kind of disturbing. um, the one thing I wish that they did is like at the end there when the astronauts were brought back, the one thing one of the astronauts said is like, last thing I remember was being in a parade. He should have asked about the strawberry sundae or whatever it was. That would have been a phenomenal continuation of that joke from before. Because Milo and them asked about it, then one other person did. If they did it one more time, it would have kept with the rule of three with the joke, and it would just been a fantastic note. But it was still good. Both of these episodes were enjoyable. Well, both parts of this episode were enjoyable, I should say. And I had a lot of fun with it. That is definitely what the series is doing best right now, fun. The characters are likable, the ideas are enjoyable, and it does have heart to it as well. Like the part at the end of the first half of the episode where Milo's sister just like, nah, you're coming on a blanket with me. That's better. It's like that was really cute. It shows that even though, yeah, he does have that bad luck thing going on with him, she wants him right by her side. She's not going to be like those kids at the bus stop we saw at the beginning of the series in the first episode who just kind of distanced themselves from Milo. No, she wants him right next to her because they're brother and sister and she loves him. And that's adorable and awesome. And I love it. And I love that she's voiced by Kate Micucci. Why is it that I always love characters that Kate Micucci voices? Seriously. Sadie, Webby from DuckTales, and now Milo's sister. That's great. That's awesome. I can dig it. But yeah, I think I just like Kate Micucci, just in general. She's just really cool. She's cool. She's a great voice actress. And I swear I've seen her in something live action too, but I can't place it. But either way, I had a lot of fun with this episode, and I hope you did too. Tell me in the comments below what you thought, and thank you so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles,